Just going to switch this over to science and tech here real quick. So, this motor, guys, that one right there, they're not just doing another shuttle engine test. Oh, a hydrogen purge system is on. I think. So, okay, anyway, they're not just going to do another, this is not just another shuttle engine test. That thing right there is an RS-25E, okay? So if you're familiar with Artemis 1 and you watched Artemis 1 launch the other day, that it had 4 engines that were very similar to that launch on it. They were similar except for the fact that they were old. The engines that launched on Artemis 1 were actual shuttle motors. They were motors that flew on the space shuttle. That motor right there is an RS-25E. It basically, that is the first brand new motor that's built for SLS missions after they run out of shuttle engines. So the SLS, so Artemis 1, Artemis 2, Artemis 3 are going to use the leftover shuttle engines from the space program. I think it's Artemis 1, 2, 3, and 4, actually. Artemis 1, 2, 3, and 4 are going to use X-shuttle motors that they had left over from the shuttle program. This one right here, these engines, these RS-25Es, are slated to fly on Artemis 5. Note, there are a few heritage components, but there are things like the nozzle, which hasn't changed yet. This RS-25E here is a brand new construction. As Vulcan said, there are parts from the original shuttle program. There are shuttle engine parts on this thing. There are heritage components. But this is the first engine of a new type of shuttle engine derived motor called an RS-25E. And the RS-25E is a brand new construction. So they basically started producing, Aerojet Rocketdyne started making these engines. This is the first one off the assembly line since they restarted it. I assume those are hydrogen cook-off flames. I'm not exactly sure what that is. It looked like a hydrogen purging system, but I don't know. This test stand here is the A2 test stand at Stennis Space Center in Mississippi. It's where NASA does most of their propulsion development. Saturn V engines were basically between here and Marshall. They were developed. They were first developed at Marshall and then moved to Stennis. And then after the Apollo program, they did core stage testing. This is where they did static fires for every single Saturn V core, first, second, and third stage. They weren't done on the A2 test stand, though. If I'm remembering right, the A2 test stand was here for, what was it, fellas? It was for Saturn V's third stages, if I'm remembering correctly. Or was this S2? This was the second stage test stand? Yeah, I mean, it makes more sense now, Vulcan, when you look at it and you see the big 10-meter hole that's sitting up there. So there you go. This one was for second stage testing. It's actually the sprinkler system for the lawns. It's actually the sprinkler system for the lawns at Stennis by making rain clouds in the exhaust. Yeah. So after, that's right. So after the Apollo program, they retooled the A2 to test shuttle motors. The S2 being loaded in. Let me take a look. Oh, baby. Yeah, the big 10-meter frickin' hole up there kind of gave it away. Look, Vulcan, you know what's crazy about this picture? Look at the A1 stand behind it. There's another one. There's another one over there. And there, look at the B2 test stand, brand fricking new. Look at, yeah, there's A1 and A2, Bandit. They're next to each other. It's actually raining in Stennis right now. Oh, they must have already done an engine test. That's the B1 and B2 test stands over there. That one is for testing Saturn V first stages fully. That's what that stand was built for. That's where the SLS did its green run. Dude, look at this. You know what gets me is that if you look at Stennis like nowadays, there's freaking trees everywhere. You look at Stennis in these pictures, they cleared out all the things, man. Everything is all cleared out. Like, there's no trees. Look at it, there's no trees anywhere. Oh, very nice, Scully. Very nice. What does the E stand for? Well, technically, Creeper, the SSME Block 2 had an internal name at Aerojet Rocketdyne called the RS-25D. So, RS-25A, B, C. So there was the prototype engines, and then there was the Block 0, Block 1, and Block 2 engines, right? So A, B, C, D, right? So experimental, Block 0, Block 1, Block 2. RS-25 is technically a Block 3 shuttle engine, if you really wanted to call it that, but no, people would look at you funny. It's basically a modernized shuttle engine that's designed... Oh, here we go. It's basically a modernized shuttle engine. But it's not just that simple, you know? Oh, yeah. So this is the first firing of a brand new motor. This is the first brand new shuttle-derived motor that's been made in a long time. Full duration? I don't think so. I think this is a... No, 5 minute burn? 500 second test, that's what it is. That's as loud as it's going, fellas. I don't want to boost it. "500 seconds is full duration, isn't it?" What was that white gas going into the plume? Let me look at this shot again, Hooded, and I'll be able to tell you. It most likely was a dump from the engine, but I'll see in a second. So all this right here, that's not a dump. What's going on, Hooded, is that the outside of this nozzle, if you touched it right now, provided you could exist in this environment without dying from sound, if you touch that, your hand would freeze to it. Don't lick it. The crazy part is, yep, they throttled back the engine right there. The crazy part is that if you put your hand to this, it would freeze to it. If you put your hand right here where the mouse cursor is, you wouldn't have a hand left. So, what are they doing? On these shuttle-derived engines, there's cooling channels in here, and these cooling channels flow liquid hydrogen through the nozzle to cool it. That's why it's so cold. What you're seeing here is the condensation coming off of the nozzle there. Now, why is it coming off the nozzle? Well, the outside of the nozzle is cold, and since rocket engines accelerate gases, like, at an insane speed downwards, right? Obviously, they accelerate gas down. Heated up gas, that's an important thing to say. They actually create a vacuum. There's a vacuum that gets created. This thing is sucking down air. So it's sucking all the condensation off of the rocket motor, which is why it kind of has this nice plume of white around it. Now, this right here, this is the result of them spraying basically a waterfall into the flame. This is a deluge system. The reason why they're doing a deluge system here is because the rocket engine firing into an open flame trench will destroy it. You got to think about like a flame trench for a launch pad here, right? That's only really designed to have flames going into it for a second and then the rocket's gone, right? So what they're doing here is they're constantly pouring water into that flame bucket. Ooh, it shut off early. That's too early. What causes the mock diamond? Gases impinging on themselves from atmospheric pressure. That's a purge down right there. That shut off early. I think it was Vulcan. It felt short, but I could be wrong. When I go into explanation mode, I kind of lose track of time a little bit. Engine looks to be okay. But yeah, it's creating a little bit of a vacuum right there. What's the bell thickness and the difference temp from the outside? It's like minus 400 on the outside and like 1500, or not maybe 1500, like 1000 on the inside. 209 seconds. Yeah, that was early. They shut it off. 209.5. That was supposed to be 500 seconds, so they saw something they didn't like, so they shut it down. So basically what happens when those diamonds get made, that little effect right there, is that the plume is coming out. And when it's coming out, it's called under expansion. When it comes out, it kind of goes out a little ways. And the pressure down here near the surface actually causes the gases to collapse back in on themselves. So you get the gases kind of bouncing off of each other. You see it with jet engines as well. But that's what that diamond is for, the mock diamond. It's not really a mock diamond, it's a shock diamond. Yep, see? The thing is heating up because the hydrogen is melting in the ambient atmosphere. That's not amazing for a certification test. Yeah. Didn't even make it halfway. That's not good. I wish they had showed some shots of the turbine machinery, Novus. I hope this thing didn't pop. Did you know when throttle up might be in a flight, like how many seconds? Makes me wonder if they had an issue throttling back up. About 70 seconds in, Bandit, it should be just over a minute. To be fair, this is literally the first RS-25E ever fired. Yeah, but if it's a cert test, Vulcan, that means you're expecting it to work. You know what I mean? They're not. It's not frick around and find out like SpaceX. It's qual test. So you're gonna need to test it again. I thought they did one in 2021. They've done a bunch of tests, Blue Flare, but they've been with all shuttle-derived components. This one was the first one off the assembly line for when they restarted shuttle engine production, dude. Hey, King. Depends on when it goes through max Q. I mean, it really depends amongst anything of the vehicle that it's attached to. Do they have bad weather? Could it influence the test? Maybe. So without water, what would happen to the flame trench? Sorry, I was making coffee to sip. Without water, anything you put down there, you're going to lose. Yeah, they spray. That's the explanation that I was giving. They spray the flame trench with water to keep it cool, because the water is going to absorb the heat before the metal does. That's why the flame trench doesn't destroy itself. So the old ones were converted RS-25s. Well, Space Shuttle Block 2 shuttle engines, Blue Flare, yeah. Every SLS motor that's going to fly on Artemis 1, 2, 3, and 4 is X shuttle components. That flew into space, which sucks, but I'll trade that for going to the moon. That's fine. To be fair, it could be a ground side issue, not the engine. We'll have to wait. Yeah, I mean, Novus, I'm not even gonna guess. I'm not even gonna venture a guess. There's no information presented here. It would be extremely hasty to hesitate. That could be 1,000 different things. Watch the test again on Facebook. No.
Discovery, go at throttle.
No, I don't think I will. Check windy. The weather is really bad. Yeah. Hey, Tan. Was the engine fired at all? It did about a 209 second burn. And then they shut it off. We don't know the reason. Replay. Give replay. They didn't really show much, dude. Let's watch. The shutdown looked good. Didn't see it, King. They were showing an external shot. I didn't see the shutdown, nor did I see ignition. I can't tell you anything. Do the RS-25s gimbal at all on SLS? Yes, they do. So, guys, from what I'm looking at here, this looks pretty right. I am noticing that there's a little bit of unburnt hydrogen there and there. But that's not anything that you won't see, you know? So when that looks okay. It looks like it's burning a little bit more fuel rich there because there's a lot of unburnt hydrogen getting thrown out of this thing. But that also could just be the camera. Could you use hydrogen for film cooling? Sure. Why not? So you see that the diamond is down there. Can you explain the difference between the RS-25 and the RS-25E? Well, the RS-25E is basically pop if they wanted to make new shuttle engines in this day and age. Yeah. It is a completely modernized version of the shuttle engine that's designed to work in an expendable capacity using modern manufacturing techniques. You know how, like, we always say, like, oh, it would be cool if Ford just literally just took a 1970 Mustang and just remade that and sold it as a kit car or something? Or sold it as a new car? Literally that. It is a legacy design that is being made with modern manufacturing. Now, the beauty of rocket science is, and I know people are like, well, that's dumb. Legacy design, that's stupid. Well, here's the thing. It being based off of the shuttle engine is like building a new car and it having 4 wheels and someone being like, why does it have 4 wheels? Wow, that's so old. Wagons have 4 wheels, am I right? It's kind of like that. There's nothing that this is a really, really good design. It's good to use this. What the shuttle engines do are still amazing, even by today's standards. You know what I mean? I hate this. I hate this so much. I hate channel points. I hate them. 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 So, this is basically the first engine right there. That's serial number 1 for RS-25Es. This is the one that was manufactured, and this was not a shuttle engine. Does that make sense? You don't want to know, Gore-Tex. I've already explained this, but how do they make sure the whole thing doesn't take off? It's attached to a gigantic concrete test stand that is like the size of a 10-story building. Yeah. The engine is bolted to a concrete, it's bolted to a steel beam right there that's bolted to a concrete holder. It ain't going nowhere. Somebody from NASA went out there, meth lab, and tapped it a couple of times, said, yep, that's not going nowhere. Believe it or not, that's not a lot of thrust. It's not a lot of thrust for this test stand. This test stand was built to take double this, believe it or not. Actually, probably even triple if you count over-engineering it. This thing was designed for Saturn V second stages. Saturn V second stages made 5 meganewtons of thrust. This thing makes 2.4. It's literally, yeah, designed for like double the amount of thrust. That stand ain't going nowhere. Why did it look clear, the flames? It looks clear because hydrogen is extremely efficient, Alleviate. It's very efficient. Hydrogen is probably one of the most efficient things that you can combust. The byproduct of this engine is just a little bit of excess H2 and a little bit of excess O2 coming out the bottom, and those combine and they make H2O coming out of it. It's water, but it's extremely heated up water. So hydrogen burns extremely clear and it burns extremely efficient. So you're not getting a lot of unburnt hydrogen coming out of this. All you're getting is literally steam. Steam is what comes out of this thing. It's brand new, Karanov, and they shut it off. They shut it off early. Rewatch the engine at shutdown. Something breaks on the power head. Man, Vulcan, just from what I heard when I was talking, it didn't sound good. So I was getting to it, but yeah. Yeah, all that comes out of this thing is just heated up water vapor. Water vapor, H2O is the result of deflagration of hydrogen and oxygen. So combusting hydrogen and oxygen gives you water. Chemistry and stuff. Should have put a lightning bolt on and painted it red. It would have gone faster. Agreed. Yeah, Oglex, yeah. The primary thing is just water. Just water. Does it rain after they do the test? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it rains. Oh, yeah. This thing makes a lot of precipitation. I mean, they're spraying that heated up they're spraying steam into water. So it makes even more precipitation. This huge cloud right here, yeah, it goes up into the sky. And yeah, it makes rain. NASA can make rain. Why is the crane on top? That's why. They needed a crane to lift that thing on the stand originally. Hey, Deadbringer. Possibly by second to last month of subbing, depending on how my personal problems unfold. Happy to be supporting you in your goals of STEM. Much love. Oh, okay, Deadbringer. Thanks for telling me. Thanks for letting me know, dude. I appreciate it. It kind of helps if people say stuff like that. Like, oh, sorry, man, I have to unsub. Not because you suck. I have to unsub because of financial problems. That really helps me to make sure that, you know, I'm not boring you to death. So I'm dead serious. Thank you for telling me. It's all good, man. You showing up here and giving me your time is more than I could ask for.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
And Hal, welcome to Mission Control. You go at throttle up. Yeah, that's why it has a crane on it. Lifting that thing's kind of heavy. That's a Saturn V second stage. Thank you for the picture, Vulcan. Have a prime and condolences. Spinning in something a while and broke noses people do that. All good, man. I don't take it to heart, but yeah, I'd appreciate it if you let me know. I mean, you don't need to say it in here. Just shoot me a DM. Like, that does help. That does help me, you know, like, because people ain't going to tell you why they unsub. You know what I'm saying? Like, if people don't like what I'm doing, they're just going to unsub. They're not going to tell me you suck. They're just going to leave. I mean, some people will. You know, that does happen. But, yeah, okay, so they throttled the engine down.
Discovery, go at throttle.
Karen gifted a sub to spinning. You suck. Bye. All right, man. So see how the diamond's closer to the engine? It's because they throttled it down. Technically, you didn't say you didn't suck. All right. How did they get the shuttle on a test stand? They never did. They put the back of a shuttle on a test stand, T-Man. I would prefer it if you did tell me. I would prefer. Okay. All right. I'm going to finish this conversation in 15 seconds, and I want to watch the engine test footage. Okay, so if you do need to unsub for financial reasons, just shoot me a message so I know. It's just, honestly, it's so I know, because if a bunch of people, like, okay, don't get me wrong, it's money's tight right now. Money's tight for me right now, dudes. Absolutely. Everything is more expensive, right? And I'm not going to get into why. I don't care. Don't play the blame games. Shut up. We're not talking about that here. Everything's more expensive. I understand that. I can't ask you to drain your wallets when, you know, there's financial uncertainty because post-COVID, right? Like, I can't do that. That's not fair. But it does help if you say, it does help me a lot if you say, like, hey, man, I had to unsub. Just shoot me a DM or something, or shoot me a message on Discord. Hey, you know, I think your content's awesome. I just need to unsub because I have no money because I'm a poor college student or something.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Haven't you given enough over the past week? Jesus, oh no. Like, I don't care if people unsub. That doesn't bother me. You're not going to hurt my feelings if you have to, if it's between subscribing to me or putting food on the table. You know what I mean? Ugh. And no gifted 20 subs, dude. You're too good to me, man. I don't deserve this. I'm a dick, dude. Why are you giving me subs? And Sebi had one in there, too. I tend to forget to resub as Prime subs aren't auto-renewed, annoyingly. Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, Sleepy, it's all good.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Kyron gifted 4. You don't need to gift subs out of anybody, man. Jeez. And Evil Rays had the raid drop in on me. But yeah. Nice, Scully. Alright. Never enough. You're, to be honest, the most entertaining and educating persona on Twitch. Wow. It's high praise, man. Damn. Just a question. Does Prime pay you the same as someone subbing normally? Yes. You're a cool dude. I like your content. Thank you. But yeah, guys, I'm serious. I'm serious about it. What other streamer's gonna say that? I don't care if you can't sub. If you can't afford it, you can't afford it, man. Be smart with your wallet. I'm entertainment, man. And if money's tight, unsub. I'm serious. I won't take it personally. You have my word.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Heck, I don't even take personally the people that say I hate your content. You suck. Go away. I'm unsubbing. Frick off. I don't even hate those people. All right, sweet. Dinkelberg, tier 2, 67. Grits and gravy with a tier 1, 65. I hate your content. You suck. Go away. Haha. Okay, thanks, dude. Whoever said that, it's happened.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Ferlian converted a Prime to a tier 1 sub. Oh, man. See, like, I don't really talk about this too much. But it's all good, dudes. Don't worry about it. You're not going to hurt my feelings. It's fine. I would appreciate it if you told me, though. I'm not going to lie to you. It helps because, like, I could... So, like...
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Ramakas, excuse me. Welcome to Mission Control. You go at throttle up. I love you. Please don't go away. It helps me to, because sometimes, like, dude, I've been doing this for so long. I've been through this job with economic up and downs. It happens, you know? It's mostly been up until the pandemic. I'm not going to lie, but that's what a bull market does. But, you know, been through ups and downs. I just want to make sure that honestly, I don't do it because I track the numbers so much, but I just want to make sure that the content doesn't suck. That's what I care about. No, don't worry about it, T-Man. Your reverse psychology is working. Ramu, it's not reverse psychology, damn it! I'm serious. I want to earn subs. I don't want to ask for them. I'm not kidding. It always ends up being that, but I'm not. That's not the intention. I swear to God, I don't intend to do that. That's not what I'm trying to do. Damn it. But I do appreciate the sub. But that's not it, dude. Like, I'm not. I mean that. Don't go on a hype train because I said not to go on a hype train just to spite the streamer. If you're having financial problems and you can't sub to the stream, please don't sub to the stream. I'm your entertainment. My wallet's not gonna hurt if you unsub. You know, like, I'm actually serious about this. You know, because dude, I've seen it happen in streams. You get on a hype train, you're like, oh, I want to join in on this hype train, and you end up gifting like 100 subs to top somebody, and then you're freaking $250 in the hole, and you're like, oh crap, what did I just do? Like, just be smart, you know what I'm saying? It's okay, we get it. What's next? But, yeah, it always ends up coming off that way, Ramu. It always ends up coming up that way, dude. Like, I don't intend for it to do that. And maybe I should adjust my strategy or something, but I don't know what else to say. The best strategy that I've figured out to not have this happen is to just not say anything. But anyway, back to the rocket footage. But I do appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. Much love. I really do. Just make sure your finances are good before you start giving me money, okay? I'm your entertainment, okay? Shh, take my money. All right, Ken, jeez. Thanks, Cammy. I'm glad. I really appreciate it. I really do. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you. But I really don't like it when people ask for money. I don't like asking for money. I don't do that. I want to earn subs. I don't want them to be given to me. This is at Stennis, yeah. I'm like super adamant about that, and I won't budge on it. And there's so many people out there that play these stupid games like, oh, if you give me subs, I'm going to do this, and then everybody gives them subs and then they leave. There's so many people that are just in it for the money. I hate it. I can't stand it. You know, I love this job, and I take it very seriously. Screw me, I guess. All right, let's listen. Let's listen.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
That's not a good way to listen, damn it. Imagine. Imagine you give me so much time during the week, dude. Why are you gifting something?
Discovery,
You don't need
go
to
and
do
throttle
that,
up.
man. Damn. Oh my goodness. And then see, this happens, and now I feel stupid. And I fall into this stupid freaking trap every time. It's so annoying. Because part of me wants all the subs too, but I don't want to ask. Oh, I'm so conflicted about this. I hate it. I hate it so much. I still don't know how to deal with this, man. I still don't know how to do it. It's so screwed up. I don't know what to do with my hands. I felt like I was on a spaceship. All right, let's listen. Listen. Maggie, thank you very much, dude. I appreciate you. Fellas, that didn't sound good. I'm not gonna lie, that didn't. What are those numbers on the side for? I'm not 100% sure what those are there for, Creeper. That didn't sound good at all. King, can you play it again? Yeah, that sounds like something broke. The motor went hydrogen rich. Somebody said it. There's a lot of orange up there. And right when we heard that pop, the flames turned orange. So, okay. I was just saying a little bit earlier, guys, that orange, you glad you weren't near this rocket engine when it exploded? All right, I'm going to stop. So, hydrogen burns really, really, really clean. The flames should be clear. Now, it might just be the camera, but the expansion plume right here is usually not that color. I'll be honest with you. It's usually a little bit clearer than that. It is a little orangey right there, which indicates there's some hydrogen being unburnt out of this thing. I said it during the test. But orange flames coming out of this thing means unburnt hydrogen. So unburnt hydrogen coming out of the nozzle means that it's whatever broke is oxidizer side. So something with the plumbing on the oxidizer side of things did not work correctly. And when they were shutting down the engine, it shot a bunch of unburnt hydrogen out, and that hydrogen immediately found some heat from the exhaust. It basically combusted it all off. RS-25s run fuel rich. Well, it's fuel rich stage combustion. Kyron, fuel rich stage combustion is just going to atomize the hydrogen better with the oxygen. So you get a super efficient burn and you get extremely high thrust. That was the thing that they needed. They needed a shuttle, and when they were making the shuttle engines back in the day, they needed an engine that was super freaking efficient and was super freaking powerful. Is it normal for the nozzle to be frozen? Yep. Oh yeah. So I'm not sure if this is okay. We'd have to go look at other tests. I don't remember seeing hydrogen coming out of there like that. But if we fast forward a little bit more, if we watch right here, right underneath there, right when the pop happens. When your rocket engine sounds like a freight train skidding to a halt after it crashes, something has gone wrong. Yeah. Hat redemption. Oh, Sal, why are you doing this to me? Why do you hate me? It's fuel rich, yeah, like a 6-to-1 ratio. Well, isn't that stoichiometric, rocket guy? Okay. All right, hold on. I'm basing fuel rich or not fuel rich based off of stoichiometrics. So 6 to 1 would be stoic for me. So if you're running fuel rich, that's higher, right? So that would be like 8 to 1. That's what I mean. Am I not saying that right? I defer to your judgment. You're a better prop guy than me. Like, way better. Like, I suck at it, and I'm not worthy. We're not worthy! We're not worthy! We're not worthy! It looks like the nozzle pop shook the stand. Maybe it is 8 to 1 or something. It's usually by mass. Yep. It's definitely oxidizer side, rocket guy. You see how much hydrogen came out of that thing? But yes, it is fuel-rich products coming out. Okay, cool. So, look at how orange it gets. So that's indicative of way more hydrogen than oxygen coming out of that nozzle. And guys, once again, I don't know what that means. It's something oxidizer side. It's something with the oxidizer side of things, but the oxidizer side of things with an engine like this gets really complicated because your oxidizer power head splits. You have here. Let me show you. I'll bring you guys up a diagram. The RS-25 is a complicated motor. It has a stage combustion. It has a stage combustion cycle, and yeah, see. Here, look at this picture. See what I'm talking about? That's what the plume is supposed to look like. There's not supposed to be hydrogen running on the sides here. But maybe the RS-25E is different. Like I said, this is a complicated motor. There's a bunch of things that they could have changed. So it looks like there was a loss of oxidizer pressure, if I had to guess. But loss of oxidizer pressure is like saying, if a car gets into an accident, saying, oh yes, the car crashed. Thanks. Thank you. Really bringing a lot to the conversation there, EJ. So, on the LOX side of things, you have a low pressure oxidizer turbo pump and a high pressure oxidizer turbo pump. Okay? But, here's the thing. You have a pre-burner right there that introduces some gaseous hydrogen into it to get you good combustion right there. And then that's for the oxidizer gas generator. And that spins the turbine, and the turbine from this goes right to the main injector plate right here. It spins a fluid impeller right here. But there's a tap off of that fluid impeller to go over here for the hydrogen pre-burner. See last though, it's still burning orange back in 2018. Okay, Bandit, thank you. This was the first RS-25E test. Yep. Or they were just running extra fuel rich to keep temperatures lower. If I had to guess, Rocket Guy, that's probably it. It's probably it. I mean, yeah, I would say that you're probably correct. So long story short, the oxidizer plumbing is complicated. It's not as complicated as the hydrogen plumbing, but since we saw a bunch of hydrogen pop out of the bottom of this thing, unburnt, orange flames. Orange flames means fuel rich, like very fuel rich. Meaning not a lot of oxidizer in the combustion chamber, but a lot of hydrogen in there. More than what would be needed for a very efficient burn. So that tells me something oxidizer side failed. But I don't know. You really shouldn't draw conclusions like that. I'm sure NASA will figure it out. But yeah, that's definitely... They definitely shut it down because they saw something they didn't like. We had speculated it was because of weather, but I'm going to go ahead and say that this is not weather related. Well, don't get me wrong. The failure could have been ambient temperature. It's possible. But they didn't shut it off because it's about to rain. You know what I mean? Yeah, I see a lot of orange that shut down with the old test too. Yeah, Rocket, but not like that. It's usually a plume of orange that's purging out the turbo pumps or purging out the power heads as the engine shuts off. That's not... Yeah, that's not this. Something went wrong there. I can say that with pretty high confidence. As to what, though, I have no idea. That's definitely not right. I mean, I know it's not right because they shut the motor off. That's the only really reasonable conclusion that you can kind of come to from this. But I've watched a lot of engine test footage in my day, fellas. I know that that noise and that noise is not good. Why would they switch to the external cam before shutdown? Yeah, I don't know. It's just NASA cast. They do that from time to time. There are some pictures of the engine nozzle near the end of the video. So what I can tell you about that engine nozzle comparatively to, like, say over here, like if you want to compare them, so these lines during ignition are not frosted over. I forget exactly what those things do, but I know that after they shut the engine off, they are very frosted over. So that tells me that it's a purge line, because see, it's flipped. This one was frozen when the engine was running, and when it wasn't running, that one turned on. But I don't know for sure. I forget what those lines do, dude, to be honest. Maybe, Lord, there's a bunch of things. Those are the turbine drain lines, Rev? Yeah, okay. Thank you. Yeah, and see, that's the chill down system right there, right? Like that's for LOX chill down, I think. Or engine bleed, excuse me. That's the LOX engine bleeding system. And then that's the turbine pump. So that means that's the hydrogen powerhead turbine pump. Turbine dump, excuse me. It's interesting because that's not... The bleed line is not frozen. He said doo-doo. See that? Bleed line ain't frozen. Interesting. That, guys, I'll be honest, that's interesting to note, but that's not going to tell us anything. Looked like there was a fire on the bottom right of the screen after shutdown. That over there? Hey, thanks for the bits. I think that's a street light, but there is a hydrogen purge system here, Jack. Somewhere. Yeah, see that? That's I don't remember that, but then again, I haven't watched the test stand footage of this in a little while. What's the shuttle nozzle made out of? It's an alloy of a bunch of different aerospace grade materials, T-Man. So it's a metal, it's an alloy that's like a little bit of aluminum, a little bit of nickel, a little bit of zinc, a little bit of it's a bunch of different things, dude. But it's made into some alloy that's designed to withstand the heat and the cooling at the same time. Pretty crazy, right? Aluminum. I would guess it's probably Inco, Jacka. Inconel is one of those alloys, T-Man. Inconel. I call it Inco for short. I'm pretty sure a lot of people call it Inco for short. No, you spelled it right, Jacka. Yeah. Cool helium. It's the unobtainium there. These straight ones are the O2 bleed lines, if I'm remembering correctly. That one is working, but that one isn't. Interesting. Is Inconel ITAR? No. I mean, unless it's a proprietary thing. I mean, pretty sure they wouldn't just throw around how to make it. So like, so Rem, you know, like how you know, you buy food and you see all the ingredients on the back of the box. Does that mean you can go and make it yourself? No, it's how you make it. That's the stuff that they don't want you to know. You know what I mean? Like, you can go Google what Inconel is and what alloys it is and what different types of Inco are. You can go Google that, but you know, unless you go get a foundry, making it is the part that they don't want people knowing. You know? Just like I know what the space shuttle SRBs use for their solid rocket fuel. It's hydroxyl terminated polybutadiene and ammonium perchlorate with aluminum flake stabilizers in to get you a more uniform explosion. They literally burn aluminum to make sure the explosion inside is nice and consistent. There's little aluminum flakes in there. Aluminum is great solid rocket fuel, believe it or not. Yeah, really, really good. Because aluminum burns very uniformly. Look at like when an airplane, like if an airplane bellies onto the runway and, you know, it catches on fire and everybody gets out and the plane catches on fire and then, you know, they go to put the fire out and there's literally nothing left of the plane. Aluminum is great rocket fuel. Oh yeah, really good. Burns really good. Really, really nice uniform burn. But they're not gonna... I know what the solid rocket motor fuel is, but see, here's the thing. If I go and start trying to make this, that's when people are going to be like, hey, EJ, what are you doing? What's that for? It's me, your friend, the FBI. I know. It's so fun. I saw you're making rocket fuel over there. What's that about? What? That's just rocket fuel. What's that about? You know, you can tell your friend. I'm your friend, right? Like, I'm your friend, right? We're cool. Well, I wanted to make a solid rocket motor and fly it. Oh, do you have your L3 cert to do that? Well, no. All right, I tell you what, buddy. Why don't you just come with me and we'll go get a cup of coffee, okay? And I'm like, okay, friend. Yeah, it's how to make the stuff that they're like, what are you doing? Oh, you bought some uranium? What are you going to do with that? You know? It's me, your friend, the government. Where's the cup of coffee? It's in our van over there. We got a coffee machine and it's a Keurig. It's great. You're going to love it. Come on over here. You're going to love it. It's just... Come on over. Come on over here now. Ugh. Do you know what you can do with an aluminum tube? Aluminum! This guy bought aluminum tubes! Look at that. See? Aluminum tubes. I don't know what you're talking about, W. Do I have to tell you what the frick you can do with an aluminum tube? Isn't solid fuel basically part thermite? No. Solid rocket fuel burns way hotter than thermite. Yeah, thermite is little wimpy boy rocket fuel. Comparatively, Sebi. Yeah, that's why they don't want you knowing how to make HTPB and ammonium perchlorate. Yeah, they don't want you to. Yeah, that's why thermite does not burn bright at all comparatively to solid rocket. I mean, dude, you see how bright the flames are coming out of the solid rocket boosters? Little more energetic than thermite. Yeah, just a teeny bit more. Yeah, they. That's why like you can they have thermite in like science class. So they use thermite to weld rails and stuff. Yeah, like Zebi welds rails with thermite for high speed, so you get a nice smooth track. Yeah, that's why you can just like go and do that, but you can't do that with solid rocket fuel. Yeah, Sawyer. Yeah, it's really messed up. You really don't want to put that out on the internet. Yeah, Doc Brown. Serious ITAR violations. That's why he had to rip it off from some Libyan nationalists. They wanted me to build them a bomb. So I took their plutonium and in turn gave them a shoddy bomb casing full of used pinball machine parts. Come on, let's get you a radiation suit. I've eaten solid rocket fuel before. That was pretty sweet. Sugar rocket. Yeah. Sugar rocket is... it's good, I guess. I mean, that's neat, I suppose. Anyway, yeah, that RS-25 had some problems. We'll wait and see what's going on here. But I'm going to get back to shuttle stuff here. And